Hello everybody, and today's video is going to be the first of a series where I'm going to try to learn to become color neutral. Now I know there's a lot of benefits to this, and I know I've said in the past I don't have any interest in it, but I've started to gain a bit of interest in it. I mean, things change, and my opinions can change on things sometimes, and I've started to do the opposite color first, because I've heard that when you are starting to become color neutral, you always do the opposite of your primary color. So for me, I always do cross on the white. And so because of that, I know my color scheme very, very well. Even when I'm into the PLL stage, like if I was to do a J-perm here, and it's out like this, and I know that, okay, I know this is correct on J-perm and that's not changed. And I know that's on the left of the orange, so I'm gonna have to perform the J-perm and then do a U prime, or 2U actually, in order to put it there. So I know my color scheme pretty well, that I can figure out my adjusting of the upper face while I'm doing my PLL. But when you go to another color, especially the opposite color, so let's not talk about the other colors. This one's to do with yellow, which is my opposite color. Now when I'm doing this, it makes F2L, the reason that you go to your opposite color first is because your F2L is pretty similar. I mean, you're working with the same edges, right? You're doing white on top, yellow on the bottom. Your edge pieces are still the same color, whether you're doing white or yellow, because it's still in the middle layer here. Now what you have to do is, one is you have to flip your color scheme around mentally. So on white, if you're a white, you solve on white, red is on the right of blue. But if you're doing yellow, red is now on the left. So you have to keep in mind that your color scheme is flipped over, and keep that in mind too while you're doing your AUF on the last layer as well. Now it's a little bit difficult in the sense of creating a color filter from what I've heard. I have a habit of looking around the cube for pieces with white on it while I'm doing my F2L. Now I have to develop that same filter, because I can see the pieces with white very clearly while I'm doing a white cross. When I'm doing with yellow, I still really see the white. The white pops out at me and I have to struggle to see the yellow. And if I do see the yellow, a lot of time it's hard to track it, because I'm so used to tracking white. So let's go through a scramble, and I'll tell you, like, one of the things that, I don't know, I'm trying to get through this barrier of this color filter thing. It's actually a little bit more difficult than it sounds. As far as I can tell, being color neutral, that's all it is. It's color filters. If you're trying to do blue on the bottom, one of the biggest things though is learning the color scheme with blue on the bottom, what's on the side of which, because I mean, seriously, I do white on the bottom. When do I ever think about where yellow is in relation to red if blue is on the bottom? I never do. So you have to learn it all over again. But, if you learn your color filters, though, the F2L becomes very easy, because that's all you're looking for is a certain color. You're not exactly looking for, white or whatever. So I'm going to go through and just do one solve. I'm going to time it anyways, because why not? Okay. So, oh. Let's start the timer first. So one thing that I do, see, I went the other way because I was looking for white. Now one thing that I do is I spot a white piece, a yellow piece, and I say to myself in my head, yellow, yellow, yellow. It helps me find my yellow pieces. It reminds me if I'm continuously saying in my head yellow, because I'm always looking for white. And I think that's really what you need to do, is remind yourself, because your mind is so used to looking for your primary color that you just have a hard time not looking at that color. So if you remind yourself in your head, at least for me it works, if I say yellow, 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 I even say it out loud sometimes when I'm tracking a white piece, I'm like yellow, and then it just really reminds me of what I actually am looking for. Okay. Oh, I guess I should have done that for the inspection. So I'm looking for yellow. A lot of the time too, I do my F2L and I want to go the opposite way, because that one wasn't too bad. I usually go the opposite way because my color scheme is now flipped. So a lot of time I'll go this way, but and then I go back, So let's try it again. And that's one of the things you might run into as well, is that a lot of your time is not, if you can develop your filter, a lot of the time, your time isn't spent, looking for pieces or tracking them. If you've got your filter developed, a lot of it has to do with you're moving it the wrong way, because you're you know, your color scheme is backwards now, and you spend a lot of time correcting yourself. You know, you don't make a lot of wrong moves, you know, in your pairing or anything, but you have sometimes you make some wrong moves in your placing. So this is a really awkward one, but we're gonna do it anyways. Oh, I guess I should do that. So yellow. Oh, see, I did it again. Wrong place. Yellow. See, I put the wrong edge in. Or sorry, yeah. See, I did it again. It happens. And that's one of the complications that you'll run through. See, I'm doing it. I put white in there. See that? I think part of it is that I'm actually talking while I'm doing it. Anyways, so let's go through some more. We're not done yet. Only 3 solves. I think I'll do like 5 or something like that. But that's some of the complications. That was a prime example right there of what can happen, okay? So I put the white cross piece in instead of the yellow green, and then I put in a white F2L pair in the slot next to it instead of that, because again, you know, I was not trying to remember that the filter is there to use, you know. So let's try this again. So I know this goes there. Okay, here we go. See, a lot of people are telling me I don't use enough of my inspection time, but I try to while I'm doing this. I think it'll get me in a good habit, as well as learning how to use my inspection time more wisely. All right, so that wasn't too bad. I was really trying to remember to use yellow there. Now, if I was to use blue, like I'll use blue in another video on my beginning stages of that after a couple of days, but you'll see that when you start going to another color too, it's even more difficult because your edge pieces now have your primary cross piece in it, and that is very difficult to overcome. See, I put white on the bottom. I was looking for white. Okay. Yellow. Why can't I find it? There we go. See, sometimes I have to actually say yellow, like out loud, to really like remind myself. All right, so that's an average of 5. The average here is 20.85, which is actually not bad. That's one of my best averages of 5, to be honest, with yellow. My main goal right now is to get yellow as fast as white, and the reason for that is because then I have a much better chance of having a better cross, you know, and then I'll move on to one of the other colors. But when I do move on to the other color or one of the other colors, it might not be before I get yellow as fast as white, but when I do, I will definitely post another video like this so you can see how terrible I am with it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you on my next video. What about the other?